Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to round number 7 of the 2021 Season 1 edition of the UK&I Monday Night Skippys live here on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone. Tonight we are racing for 16 laps around the Charlotte Roval, a combined road course and oval layout at Charlotte Motor Speedway located in Concord, North Carolina. 17 turns around this track, 4 of them are on the oval, 2 massive chicanes and some pretty big elevation changes for being on the infield of an oval. But we're in for a great race here today. Temperature is currently just below 20 degrees Celsius, just under 30 on the track. So everything is set up for an amazing race here today. Almost 40 cars signed up for the event here in Charlotte. My name is Nils Broström and I'm joined as always by Ryan Walker. And Ryan, it's been a great season so far and we shouldn't expect anything less today.
Yeah, it's been a great season so far, and the race has been great in every round as well. And I think around the Charlotte Roval, I think what we shouldn't expect anything less. And I think especially with those chicanes on the back straight and that final chicane, I wouldn't be surprised if you see maybe some drivers making a mistake, or maybe in the early stages anyway, to see a bottleneck effect which might cause some incidents.
Yeah, that first turn on the first lap is definitely going to be interesting, and that final chicane that you're seeing on screen here, people are going to be starting all the way through that and back on the other side of it, so we could see some incident even before people reach the start line here. At the moment though, we're still in qualifying, about 2.5 minutes left for everybody to complete their 3 laps. Solo qualifying today, so no drafting help. It's all down to the drivers to do the best they can, and at the moment Simon Edwards is leading the way. He has completed all his laps. Ewan Pattinson by the end of his lap here, he is currently in 6th position. See what he can do. On the screen here we have the 85 of Adam Miles. He has completed his laps and he's currently in 3rd position. Ewan Pattinson looks like he has parked it though. The only driver on the track that has not set his time yet is nobody, as far as I can see. Ray Peasley here actually. Benny Simonson goes to the top. As I say that, he gets pole position 1:30.396. He hadn't even set a time prior to that. That's why I didn't see him. But Ray Peasley coming out onto the oval here. He is on his final lap. Actually, he's already completed his 3 laps, so he will be starting in 20th position unless anybody can do something. Neil McGinty, I believe, is the last car on track who has not completed all his laps yet, as is Stefan Nobis, who's only on his 2nd position. His 2nd lap, sorry. We're with Neil McGinty here though, coming through NASCAR 3 and 4. He's got 1 more chicane to go and he's at the moment 7.8 seconds behind the leader, so he'll definitely have to improve on that time. He's currently scored in 35th position. Now here coming into the final chicane, this is very tricky, but you can absolutely destroy the curbs here with these Skippys if you want to, without getting an off track. See what he can do here. 32.777 is going to get him up to 30th position, but he's still got 1 more lap to go. However, there's only half a minute left, so he will park the car. Here is Stefan Nobis, currently scored in 28th. See if he can make it around. He's going to have 20 seconds to do so. It's going to be very, very tight, but I think he might just be able to do it. Coming around 3 and 4, then down off the bank and into that final chicane. He's got 8 seconds to get to the line. It's a race against the clock. Here he comes. He's going to do it. It's going to be a 31.5. That's going to move him up into 19th position. And that is it for qualifying. So starting on pole position here at Charlotte Motor Speedway, Benny Simonson with a 1:30.397, less than a tenth ahead of Simon Edwards in 2nd, Leo Hughes in 3rd, Adam Miles in 4th, Nicholas Von Roberts in 5th, and Nathan Wade in 6th, Ewan Pattinson in 7th, Anthony P.M. Jones in 8th, Andrew Baranowski in 9th, and Will Redford rounding out the top 10. Daniel Tufts in 11th, Seth Brown in 12th, Lewis Sheena in 13th, Ben Evans in 14th, Mark Langford in 15th, George Mattox 16th, Anthony Catt all the way down in 17th. That's going to be interesting to look out for what he can do. Jack Hopes in 18th, Stefan Nobis in 19th, Kevin Budgeon in 20th, Ray Peasley in 21st, David Dowson in 22nd, Ryan Smith in 23rd, James McRitchie in 24th, Christopher Miles in 25th, Mud Kiko in 26th, Tony Stack 27th, Luke Ashton Jones in 28th, Dave Kirkman 29th, and Neil McGinty, as we saw, in 30th. The rest of the grid is up on your screen, and Ryan, with Anthony Catt qualifying in 17th. How quickly will he be able to get up through the field today, do you reckon?
I think it's going to be difficult to try and get through the field as quickly as possible. It's not like other tracks that you can get through really easy or quickly. I think he's going to have a tough task around this Charlotte Roval, especially in that middle sector with not really many passing places. But I think if he keeps it clean, you never know, he might be able to get through the field and finish close to the front, maybe in the top 6 or so. But as just waiting for the drivers to line up now, and we'll be underway in a few seconds' time.
As you can see, the cars at the back, they're back through the chicane, back up on the oval and almost into NASCAR 4. Red lights are on though, green flag is out, and we are racing to see if everybody gets through that chicane cleanly. At the front though, it's a good getaway there for Benny Simmons and Simon Edwards as well, having a good launch. Oh, there's a crash in the chicane already. That would be the 386 of Luke Ashton Jones gets turned around by, I believe that was Dave Kirkman in the 88, sorry. That was very unfortunate. He didn't even get to start the race, but at the front everybody's getting away nicely. Top 27 cars are all in a line here. We had one position, Budgeon, getting up to 19th position ahead of Stefan Nobis. Other than that, everybody's taking it pretty easy here. We got Evans and Lushina racing side by side further up in the field here as well, coming over the crest and back down the hill. They're still side by side here. Sheena gets the inside here. He gets the position back there from Matic as well. Almost lost 2 positions but held it to 1, so he's going to be back up into 16th position onto the oval now. This is where the drafting comes into play. Here comes up the inside again. They're going to be side by side into the corner. Matic is going to get that position. He's going to be able to clear Sheena as well, possibly into the chicane. They're side by side behind him as well. Langford and Cat side by side up ahead. You can see just how high they go over the curb. They're flying. The cars are fully in the air. Still, they don't take any damage from that, and there is no off-track for it either. It's pretty lenient on the track limits here at Charlotte, but Matic having a good start here to the race so far, up to 14th, so 2 positions gained for him. At the front though, nothing has really happened. Redford has gained 1 position, up to 9th ahead of Baranowski, but other than that, these guys are just going in a line for now.
Oh, someone got through the chicane, and I'm not sure who that was, but just looking at this angle of the cars coming through the chicane, look at the amount of airtime they get, but at the moment, relatively clean on the first lap. What's just surprising?
I believe that was Mark Langford that cut the chicane. He's having to take a massive slowdown here. Christopher Miles is coming through as well, so Langford drops down to 23rd. Oh, contact, they're going to be together. Langford and Miles straight into the wall. That's going to be both of them out. Dowson and Redford has had an incident in the head as well, but they're able to keep going here. Possibly going to try and make it around to the pits. So they got away with 1 there. Bit of damage, but they're able to keep on going. Here's Will Redford as well. See what happened to him as he made contact with the car in front. Coming around the corner, he just loses the back end of the car. And, well, then it's the other incident. I don't think anybody got involved with Redford. It was a solo car incident. These two though slams the wall, and somehow that car is able to keep on going. That is so fortunate for him. At the front though, the top 5 has pulled out a little bit of a gap here, and I have a trio behind them as well. So 8 cars pretty much have pulled away, and then there's a gap of over a second down to Daniel Tubbs in 9th. But at the moment, Benny Simmons is still leading the way, head of Simon Edwards, Lee Hughes, Adam Miles, Ron Roberts, and then Pattinson, PM Jones, and Nathan Wade, as you saw there in that second little group. If they're able to keep up though, this could be a very good 8-car battle for the win. But again, high over the curbs here as we complete lap number 2.
Yeah, that's the thing we've always seen in this league. It seems to be the front runners that stick together and not fight each other, and they work together to try and pull away. But this bigger pack that have got in the first few laps, they might actually work together and just try and pull away, and then towards the end of the race just try and go for it. But as you're riding on board George Matic at the moment in 13th, Matic's battling with Brown in front of him, and yeah, George Matic has been doing pretty well this season so far. He's had some decent results, finishing close to the top 10 or in the top 10 at times, and again having a decent race in 13th, as he's got a pack of cars in front of him battling away.
Yeah, that's Ben Evs getting ahead of Daniel Tubbs. They're into the bottom of the top 10, 10th position. Matic so far though has gained 3 positions Now that we get onto the oval, just going to see just how much this draft will do. Obviously the cars in front will have some draft as well, but we'll see if Evans is able to catch up to Ranowski here, or if Tufts might be able to get back past Ben Evans here, coming down to the chicane. He's going to pull out though, does not look like he wants to get that position. He lifts out a little bit to stay behind, give Evans that 10th position, but they're closing in on Baranowski down through the oval bit here, through the chicane nicely through all of them, and now coming back onto the oval. You can see the top 8 just ahead, but they are just over 2 seconds out so far, so they're not going to be within drafting range, and I think this gap is just going to keep on opening up unless they get into it up there. As 6th through 8th is starting to spread out as well, but looking back here from Baranowski, you can see just how close they all are. There's a car backwards now as well. That would be Seth Brown into the chicane. He gets collected by, I believe that was Ryan Smith, possibly. Might have been Kevin Budgeon, actually. He gets back off the track there, though, so no real harm being done there. Cars coming out of the pits as well, making contact. Here's Seth Brown. He just goes way too... No, it's actually the car behind that runs him over. Then he goes backwards into the chicane. I've seen that before. The first time NASCAR raced here, car going backwards into that chicane. That didn't end well. Final lap for the win. Here we have Christopher Miles coming out of the pits, and there's a car in front of him parked. He locks up to not run into him, goes out across the track with cars coming. Thankfully they sorted that out, and Christopher Miles pulled over and I think retired from the race. That looked kind of weird.
It did indeed, as a riding board and 14th place runner at the moment, Stephen Knowles rather, heading round the bank and heading up to that chicane on the back straight, where you can it's easy to make a mistake or run into another car at the moment, and it looks like Stephen is in a battle with Lewis Shenna at the moment in 13th, just in front of him as he head through the chicane, and this chicane is so difficult to get right because you've got to try and carry that momentum. So as they get close, Stephen gets close to the wall, and that was so close.
Yeah, like you say, there's so much time to lose. You see, he lost all his momentum coming out, and even though he has to draft, he's still dropping back. So every bit of momentum you can have out of that corner is crucial. Now we're back at the front here, though. Benny Simonson has pulled out a gap of just under a second as Seymour Harding has gone around, and he does a little bit of a 360 trying to get going. We're going to get a replay of that before we catch up with the leaders. They're 3 wide back here, coming almost 3 wide, coming into the back straight chicane. And he does that all on his own, has a wide entry, goes in a little bit too hard, spins out, does not hit the wall, gets turned around and then turns around a little bit too much, has to do a 360, another 180 and gets going, so that's going to drop him down into 36th at the moment, which is the last car currently on the lead lap, up to 35th there as Adcock is pulled into the pits. But at the front, Benny Simonson is pulling away with this race. Lewis Sheena in a battle here again with Matek Nobis and Anthony Catt coming up through the field as well. He's only gained 2 positions so far, though. Nobis has gained 6th position, so he's doing a lot better coming up. If Catt is able to get back past Sheena, as we're seeing the leaders here scrapping it out as well, they've caught back up to Benny Simonson slightly, but he's still got an 8/10 of a second gap as this group has gone back to being 7 cars now. So they close back a little bit. Here comes Catt though on the inside of Sheena. Sheena backs out, gives that position to Catt way up on the curbs, flying that car. So that's 14th position now for Anthony Catt. Stefan Nobis is next, but that top 10 is about 4 seconds up the road. So I think Catt is going to struggle here today. Sheena looking to get back on him though. Side by side ahead as well. Nobis looking on the inside of Matek here coming into the chicane. He's going to be able to get through there. He's going to brake really late. He's going to be able to do it. He does. Matek goes high on the curb, but trying to get that run back, coming out onto the front straightaway, but it's not going to be enough. So Stephen Nobis, coming through up into 12th position for now, demoting Matek to 13th and Catt right on the back of him here in 14th. So these guys are going to be going at it here for a while. See what he can do here. Going really tight around this corner though, Matek, to cover off Anthony Catt, which is letting Sheena get a little bit of a run on Catt, but he's going to back out and stay behind for now. So well, Matek, he's not in a good position here. He has to go defensive on Anthony Catt, which means he cannot make a move on Stephen Nobis. But coming out on the straight here, Nobis is not going to have any draft whatsoever, so that might help Matek get back up into 12th position. Have to see what happens here. Going way up to the wall, cutting down as quickly as they can. We're on board here with Catt. Looks like he got the better exit though. Going to look to the outside of Matek, who's going to go down to the inside of Nobis. See where Stephen decides to go. He's going to stay low. That's going to mean Matek is going to have to go all the way to the apron. They're going to be 3 wide coming down the back straight into the chicane. Nobis is going to back out, giving Matic the position. Cat backs out as well, as he does not want to be pushed up onto the curb. That's going to hurt his momentum. Here comes Sheena coming through as well. Cat is going to have the inside through the oval though, and Sheena goes up and let us off a little bit, so going to give that position back to Cat. Matic here going defensive to Nobs though into the final chicane. Nobis is going to back out, not going to make a move down here, as I guess he wants to try and get away from Cat, but that is not going to happen.
Yeah, absolutely not, especially if you're stuck in a slipstream pack as well, like this one, around Charlotte, and on the straights most of the time, if you're the one in front and you've not got any slipstream and you're under attack from cars behind you, they can use that slipstream, and most of the time you'll just be a sitting duck.
Out of the front of the field there are things happening as well. Got a move here. Von Robertson's going through on Adam Miles to get up into 4th position. They're too wide now coming up to the oval. There's Ewan Pattinson behind as well, trying to find an opening. Miles gets the crossover on Von Robertson. He's going to be able to get underneath him. This is for 4th position. Lee Hughes and Simon Edwards is just ahead. He might be able to push it 3 wide here, Pattinson. Von Robertson is going to drop 2 positions though, so there's just going to be 2 wide. It's Miles on the inside, Pattinson on the outside, and then Roberts right behind. We're onboarded with Roberts here. Miles backs out, giving that position to Pattinson. And then you got Edwards and Hughes going side by side ahead. Hughes holds on to that position though. And far off in the distance there, you can see Benny Simonson. He's pulled out 2.3 seconds already in 7 laps on these guys. Side by side again here for second. There are all lap traffic ahead as well. That would be Simon Edwards having the inside now for the first part of the chicane. Lee Hughes on the outside. He's going to brake later, Edwards. He's going to get the inside high on the curve there for Hughes, trying to get a better line through. But Simon Edwards is going to come through and take 2nd position away. Now 2.7 seconds for Benny Simonson. And he's loving this. He's just flying away from these guys.
He absolutely is, and he's got about 2.6 seconds now to the rest behind him. And he's pretty much, like you say, he's just checked out and left these guys in his dust. And it's pretty much a battle now for the 2nd and 3rd steps on the podium. And at the moment they're being occupied by Edwards and Hughes, but how long will that stay for long as I try and get my words out? I don't think it'll be very long.
I don't think Pattinson is going to sit back. He's gained 3 positions so far. He started in 7th, he's now up to 4th. If he can get a good exit here, I think he's going to try and push it 3 wide again like he did last time. Though Hughes and Edwards, they won't be backing out as easily as those other guys did, I don't think. Edwards has a good exit though. Here comes Lee Hughes. They're moving out of line, all of them. They're just being patient now, trying to play it smart. That last time around they lost 1.2 seconds to Benny Simmons, and they don't want to do that again. But still, he's 2.8 seconds clear, so they need to gain almost a 1.5 seconds to even get within the draft range of Benny Simonson to get any sort of advantage. Now Lee Hughes moves up again and trying to keep the speed without getting too close to Simon Edwards. He might make a late dive here, though he will not. He's going to be late on the brakes, but not too late, so they're still going to be single file here through the final chicane. That lap car as well holding on there at the back of the pack. So Edwards, Hughes, Pattinson, Miles and Roberts fighting it out for the final 2 podium positions. So far, obviously it's far from over, and Simonson was able to pull away almost another 2/10 on that lap. So I think it looks at the moment like Benny Simonson is going to win this easily, unless he puts himself in the wall, which you can easily do around this track.
Yeah, especially on the exit of turn 1, you've got those outside walls, and also this middle sector that we're coming through now, where it's really tight, and especially the section we're coming up to now. There's the long left-hander. You've got that outside wall, which is so easy to clip, and these guys, or even the inside tyres you can clip as well, but none of these guys clip it, and they all make it through. But I think this pack being so close together, like we've seen in other races so far this season, being in a battle is all good and well, but sometimes it can bite you.
Definitely can. Here comes Hughes again, looking to the outside of Simon Edwards. He's going to be ahead coming to the chicane, but no one's going to give. They're going to be side by side. Pattinson is going to get the better line through the chicane though, so he's going to get the better exit. They're still going to be side by side. Edwards all the way down on the apron. Here comes Pattinson trying to get in the middle. Hughes is not going to have that, but it's Pattinson still going to be on the inside of Lee Hughes. He's not going to have any room to go anywhere. He gets a bit wiggly. He could put it on the apron here, but that's going to make him lose even more momentum and grip. Seeing now as they come down into the final chicane, Hughes is still on the inside. They're side by side behind as well. That's Miles looking to gain an advantage here, side by side with Will Roberts, but Lee Hughes goes through, coming across the start finish line. He's going to have 2nd place now, coming down into the heartburn turn again to start lap number 10 out of 16. 7 laps to go here, and things are kicking off again. They were being patient for a couple of laps, but now they're all over each other once again. So everything to play for here. The second group we were following, they've sort of calmed down as well. Mattock holding on to that 12th position. And here is our battle for P number 9, 10 and 11. Ben Ebbs ahead of Baranowski and Tufts. Those two, Baranowski and Tufts especially, has been going at it for that 10th position, now letting Ebbs get away a little bit. Baranowski looks like he's able to pull a bit of a gap on Tufts though, but Tufts goes better through the right-hander down the hill, and that elevation change right there, down and back up the hill, is about 5 times bigger than what it looks like from this perspective. So it's very, very easy to lose your rear end coming down the hill. Onto the oval again. No, Baranowski and Tufts are going to have equal amount of draft because of Evs being ahead of him. See what he can do down through the chicane. The better run through there is definitely going to decide who has the chance coming down to the final chicane. Coming through here, he goes a little bit deep there. Tufts gets a little bit too close, has to back out slightly more than he would have liked, but he's right on the back of Baranowski. Baranowski gets a good run here on Evs as well, but don't think that is going to be enough to make a move. Meanwhile, they are moving for second place as well, but Simon Edwards just got through. Here comes Daniel Tufts, so he's going to make a move. He will not, he's going to stay behind. So Simon Edwards came through on Lee Euster to get up into second. And Pattinson made a little attempt as well, but he had to back out. Obviously, you don't want to be 3 wide into that chicane, but these guys, they're just pounding on each other all the way around the lap.
They are, and that's pretty much that stage of the race. As always in the Monday night Skippys, it's basically gloves off and time to go for it, as we're seeing at the front. And yep, Benny Simonson is just absolutely checked out. He's got a 4-second lead now, so it's a battle for second between Edwards, Hughes, Patterson, and Vaughan Roberts. And Vaughan Roberts is pretty much in the like what I like to call the popcorn position, or in the box seat, just watching what these guys are up to. And behind him we've got Adam Miles, sorry.
On to the oval once again, through NASCAR 1 and 2, down the back straightaway and into that lethal chicane. Lewis moves out of line here. Again, trying to keep that momentum without getting too close to Simon Edwards, not having to lift. So he does not want to make a move down here. I think he might want to do it into the final chicane. Again, you can see just how hard they go on those curves, and then how close they get to that wall on the exit there. But a good run through there for all these guys, so no one going to get a massive run on anybody. Lewis having a look outside again. He's not going to try and make a pass here, I don't think. He's not going to be close enough to do that. About a car length between them. So Simon Edwards is going to hold the position this time around. Pattinson is right there though, ready to pounce on Lewis should he make one mistake, as he gets a little bit high on the curb there. And I think Miles might have brushed the wall coming out of the chicane, but I think he'll be fine because that was a very, very light brush if he even touched it. Now Pattinson on the back of Lewis again, but I don't really know where you can make a move here unless the car ahead of you makes a mistake.
Yeah, I think the best opportunities of making a move around here is possibly on that back straight heading down to the back straight chicane, or even the last chicane. As further back, the battle for 12th is still going on at the moment, and Anthony Catt is in that battle as well, and he's getting really stuck in. He's really right on board with Lewis Shannon as well. I thought it was going to be contact there.
Really close there between Nobes and Sheen, as Mattock and Catt went side by side through 1 and 2, and then down through turn 3 and 4 as well. Here we come now though, back up to this little elevation change. Through here you pretty much have to go single file, but then onto the oval things are going to be kicking off. And the guys behind us caught up as well. Ryan Smith, Kevin Budgeon and Will Redford are closing in on these guys if they go side by side going into that back straight chicane. This battle is going from 4 up to 7 cars. It's their 3 wide coming out of the back straight chicane. Lewis made a move on Simon Edwards, got a little bit too deep. He gets a good exit though. Pattinson here cutting down, but Vaughan Roberts is there. He's going to gain 1 position. He's going to gain 2. Edwards and Hughes going to be side by side into the final chicane. He does not want to make it 3 wide, is he? No, he will not, but they're going to be 2 by 2. Edwards on the inside of Hughes, Pattinson on the inside of Vaughan Roberts. Who's going to give? Who's going to get what? Here we go, over the curbs. Edwards is going to come through into second. Lewis down to third. Pattinson is going to hold off on Roberts, but here comes Miles. He's going to be 3 wide into Heartburn turn. Pattinson gets clear though. Miles on the inside. He's going to have to let off a bit to not get too loose over that curb on the inside. So Vaughan Roberts is going to hold on to 5th position, and despite all of that, there is not going to be a single position change because they're right back to where they were going into that back straight chicane.
Yep, so this battle for second place is still not over and done with, and Adam Miles is just sitting there thinking, come on boys, collide with each other so I can gain a few positions and maybe gain even a podium position. as they're just heading on to the banking, the back straight, the back straight banking now, and Miles gets so close to the inside tyres, and that amazes me how close to get to that without touching them. And then riding on board the shoes at the moment, he's in third place, but he's under attack from Ewan Patterson, who's got the slipstream and tries to make a move, but decides against it.
Lee sticking right on the back of Edwards there to not give up any speed whatsoever. Pattinson looking for an opening, but he can't find it. Vaughan Roberts here in fourth of this group, fifth in the race. And again, really close to the wall. See if they're going to make a move this time. It looks like they're doing it pretty much every other lap. So every other lap they're all over each other, and then the following lap they just go single file, and then the next lap they're all over each other again. So this time I don't think anybody's going to make a move. Coming down through here, they might prove me wrong. They're just going to stay single file. Wide onto the AstroTurf there for Lee though. It's pretty good grip out there because it's not actually grass. So you can't go wide there. You'll get an off track if you put almost the whole car out. But other than that, you're pretty fine going onto the green stuff. As it still has pretty good grip, but they're nose to tail. All four of these cars come into the infield section. Somebody has to make a move here. They're way too close to each other to not do that. Use Peaks on the inside, but it's not going to get it done. Miles now right on the back again of Vaughan Roberts. So it's a 5-car train, quite literally. Use Peaks on the inside again. He's not going to be close enough. Here comes Pattinson, has to look. Use goes defensive. That's going to be good for Edwards. Now Simonson is checked out by over 5 seconds because of all this, so not going to cover him too much. Lap 14 here though, so 2.5 laps to go only. This race has flown by, as much action as we've seen. Coming back onto the oval, this is not what Edwards wants to see. He's got no draft whatsoever. All these guys behind are going to be way quicker. Here comes Lewis. Which way will he go? Will he go left? Will he go right? Edwards stays on the blue line. Hughes is going to have to go high. Pattinson goes on the inside of him. He's going to try and make it 3 wide. He backs out as he does not want to go below the blue line. Hughes on the outside of their side by side into the chicane. A crossover from Simon Edwards. There's a check-up. There's some contact. Vaughan Roberts loses the front end of his nose. That's going to let Adam Miles come through. I think he ran into the back of Pattinson there as they had a bit of a check-up there on Edwards' crossover. Here is now Edwards is going to look to the outside of Lee Hughes, coming down to the final chicane. Pattinson peaks on the inside as well. He's going to be outside through the first part, inside through the second part. Lee Hughes is going to hold that position though. Edwards is going to go through and hold on from Pattinson, who's going to stay in fourth. But Miles had the biggest gain there, moving up into fifth. And question is that damage on Vaughan Roberts. I don't think it's going to hurt him too much, but it's definitely not going to help him. As Ben Ebbs has gone around in the final chicane, and he's going to get going again. He's going to be in 11th. He's going to have a little replay here. Let's see what happened. I believe this is way further back. I'm not really sure. I think we're back to the front group here. Actually, we're back at pictures. So it's Pattinson looking up on the inside of Edwards. Here we have the replay. That was Ben Evans coming through the chicane. They were side by side back there. That's him on the outside. They just make contact. He goes a little bit high on the curb, runs into the other car. That would be Daniel Tufts that he hit on the left rear wheel. Made contact with Bernowski and then flew into the side of Daniel Tufts. Both of those still going in 9th and 10th though. Unfortunately for Evans, he's joined that other 5-car group behind him. But at the front, they're still side by side here coming into the chicane. It's almost just 1 lap to go. Hughes is going to hold on to that though. Pattinson is going to come through on Simon Edwards. Here comes Miles. He's going to look to gain a position as well. Now they're going to be 2 by 2 into the final chicane again. Coming to complete lap number 15 is going to be white flag and 1 lap to go this time by.
Yep, it's this battle for second. Third place is coming up to the final chicane now, just about to start the final lap as well. And Adam Miles throws it over the curbs and tries to carry that momentum, and he gets a great run on Ewan Patterson. Patterson tries to defend, but he can't really do anything because of the overspeed that Miles gets. And heading into turn 1 onto this tight section, I think this battle is just about to spice up on the final lap, and I think something might happen on the back straight chicane.
That damage to Nicholas Vaughan Roberts has dropped him back. He's now down to P number 8, so he's definitely lost speed. Half a lap to go. The Benny Simonson leading by over 7 seconds. He's pretty much won this race, but here are the guys racing third, fourth and 5th position. Only a few more laps to go. Left-hander onto the oval. Now it's just a bunch of drafting and 2 more chicane. Lee Hughes is leading the way. He's definitely not in the best position considering how much draft you get in these cars. But obviously he is at the front, so if you can just hold on to it, cover off well enough, you might be able to do it. Here comes Simon Edwards though. He's going to move to the outside. Is Adam Miles going to be able to get there as well? They're going to be side by side coming into the back straight chicane. Simon Edwards on the right, Lee Hughes on the left. He's going to be a lock-up from Lee Hughes. Edwards goes high on the curb. He's going to lose momentum. Pattinson runs into the back of Adam Miles, and he's going to go round. He's going to have to sit there and wait. Meanwhile, Simon Edwards is having a look on Lee Hughes coming around. NASCAR 3 and 4 is Benny Simonson as well into the final chicane. He's going to win this race. Edwards is not going to be close enough to Lee Hughes either, but Benny Simonson is going to win this race. Oh, here comes Edwards with a late launch on the outside of Lee Hughes. He's going to be able to do it. High on the curb, but Lee Hughes comes through and he's going to get second position ahead of Simon Edwards with Adam Miles in 4th position. And here is the battle for 5th with Baranowski and Tufts, which is won by Baranowski. And here side by side again, that's Evans and Cat for final position in the top 10. Ben is going to hold off Anthony Cat to get that position. And the second, or the other group we've been watching, Nobis Matic and Redford, is done as well. Here's more cars coming side by side. But yeah, Benny Simonson, what a drive he did today.
Yeah, it was a fantastic drive from Benny. He just pretty much, he was under a bit of pressure in the early stages, but once he managed to break away and build a bit of a gap, he was just, no one challenged him, and he pretty much just checked out and left the rest behind him to squabble amongst themselves.
Here's Alan Patterson as well, the series organiser. Currently 28th behind Luke Ashton Jones. Not going to try and do anything here though. He's going to hold on to his 28th position across the line, so decent day for Patterson, gaining 5 positions from starting 33rd. But and here comes Tim Adcock as well, that's a lap car behind him, I believe, so they're not battling for much. But Adcock coming home in 31st, and then the final car to cross the line to finish the race is Mod Kiko in 34th. So, coming home with, I think, the biggest victory ever in the Monday night. 6 seconds is Benny Simonson. What an absolutely outstanding drive he had today. Lee Hughes holds on to second place ahead of Simon Edwards there after his very, very late charge into the final chicane. Miles in 4th. Nathan Wade holds off Baranowski to finish 5th and 6th respectively. Daniel Tufts in 7th. Anthony P.M. Jones holds on with that damaged car to finish 9th. And Ben Ebbs recovers from his self-finish in 10th position. It's Anthony Cat in 11th, Stephen Nobius in 12th, George Mattock in 13th, Will Redford 14th, Lushina 15th, Ryan Smith 16th, Ewan Pattinson gets going again to finish in 17th, Tony Stack in 18th, Ray Peasley 19th, and Kevin Budgeon in 20th position. The rest of the result is up on your screen. And we had actually almost the whole field finishing on the lead lap here today. That is pretty impressive. Despite all the incidents, we had 34 out of 40 cars on the lead lap, Ryan. That's got to be some sort of a record as well.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. I was expecting it to be a lot more chaotic, but fair play to the people that finished, and to finish on the lead lap as well. Yeah, especially Mark Langford, the 1 lap behind, but still basically only 1 lap down. That was still mighty impressive, and credit to those guys on the track that managed to do that.
Most definitely. I'm more curious to figure out how these cars can handle these guys driving them so hard over the curb, literally lifting the wheels off the ground time and time again, smashing them back on the floor, and they're able to keep doing this lap after lap after lap. And I've been watching these guys race all the way through the week in the official series, and they just keep doing it, and they can handle it. I'm not really sure how they do that, because usually these cars are very, very fragile, but bouncing these curbs, apparently they can handle that. And as well, very unfortunate there for Pattinson making a charge at the end, spinning out on the back straight chicane. You can see here coming to this is not the finish, but this is earlier on. That's Lee Hughes and Pattinson going side by side. You'll see Hughes here just going high on this curb. Car will go way up in the air, not as high as it's done some points during the week, and Edwards as well, and then just back down on the floor. And when you're riding on board with these guys, the noise that it makes is really loud. And first time I saw it, I thought, oh, he just destroyed his car, but he just kept on driving. So very, very durable car. So still impressed by how they can do it and hold on to the control. Still, no post-race interviews here either, so see if the standings have been updated yet. It usually takes a few minutes after the race for that to be done. If we can pick that up here, it's going to be just another second and then that will happen, and Simon Edwards waiting for him to come into the broadcast booth as well. So next week then, Ryan, Autodromo José Carlos Pase, or whatever way you pronounce that. We'll have to talk to Hugo about that, but Interlagos is a more famous name. That's going to be another extremely interesting race, but a lot of drafting again.
Yeah, especially with that long run on the exit of the final corner up the hill heading to the start finish line. It's going to be another slipstream fest, I think. But slipstreaming also produces great racing, and I think I'm looking forward to it. And it's one of my favourite tracks in Interlagos in the Skippy, so I think it'll be a great race, and the championship battle as well is starting to heat up. Yeah,
it definitely is, and it's quite a few overtaking opportunities on that track, and racing coming up the hill there towards the end is going to be very interesting. So before we get the results, we have a Redford on board here. It says Mark Redford, but I believe it might be Will, or is it Mark?
No,
it's Will Redford, putting his dad's name in. So Will, good race for you today. They're battling just outside, or just around the top 10, and then having a little bit of an incident towards the end. Tell us about your race.
Sorry, can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay, it's not showing up that I was transmitting. My wheel broke, so I'm on my dad's setup. Which also meant, like, all this is alien to me. I wasn't very comfortable, so I spun it on lap 2. And it was just a matter of, driving and catching up with people that I could. I've had good pace here all week, so I was hoping that I could do well, but not much I can do when my wheel decides to break, so it's an alright result.
Yeah, very good race considering. I've been watching you through the week, and some streams I've been watching. Looks like you were quick, so I was expecting you to be more up to the front. But if your wheel broke, that sort of explains it. So how difficult is it? Like, it's still the same car on the same track with pretty much the same settings, but how difficult is it to move into a completely different rig, even though everything is pretty much the same?
I was trying to fix my wheel up until about 8 o'clock. And then I just gave up, and I said, alright, I'm going to use my dad's setup, because, there's no point me trying to spend any more time when it wasn't working. So I hopped on, got in the car, and then first thing I noticed was the force feedback, because this wheel is much stronger than my G27. So it was pretty difficult getting used to the rim size and just the overall forces that you're feeling. And then the brakes as well. These are load cell pedals. I'm just on G27 pedals on my normal setup, so it was hard to adjust, but I didn't feel comfortable, but my times were relatively quick. So my main problem I had was in qualifying, because cold tyres, you need to know what the car's doing, and the forces were for my wheel, so I was struggling with the cold tyres. Which meant I 1x'd my final qualifying lap, which would have put me P3 if I didn't, which is a shame. And then, spinning on lap 2, purely because I force feedback, different force feedback. I just didn't know the car was getting away from me. I was going too fast and the rear end went.
Well, very good job considering all of that then. Anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Shout out to you guys for the broadcast, and for Alan for hosting the league, of course. Shout out to my dad for letting me use his PC, and my sponsor Nest in the Woods.
Great, thanks for joining us, and hope to see you again next week. Next up we have Ryan standing by with Simon Edwards.
Yep, Simon finishing in third place after being involved in that battle for the final 2 steps on the podium. And Simon, it looked like you guys were it was pretty much a tense battle, and you were keeping in touch with Benny, but once Benny managed to create a gap and break away, it looked like it was pretty much a battle for best of the rest, if you like.
Yeah, Benny was just sandbagging us, I think. His pace was amazing. I did a 129, which is quick round here, losing him in the toe. So I couldn't believe his pace. It was around the first part of the track. He was gaining in 2 of the corners, but I just couldn't stay with him. So I knew my battle was going to be for the second. But I really enjoyed it. I think it was a really fair battle, and you know, I wanted second, but you know, I'd rather finish.
Yeah, I mean, that was a fantastic battle with you guys, with the likes of Lear, Adam, and I can't remember who else. Ewan Patterson as well. And once it got towards the end of the race, it just all kicked off, and unfortunately, it looked like Ewan had issues with. I think it was Adam Miles, and I ended up spinning out. But a podium position is still good. And how do you think? What's your aims for the rest of the season? Do you think you can try and challenge Benny for the championship, or do you think he's pretty much, in a way, got that upper hand at the moment?
Yeah, I'm hoping he has equipment failure. But apart from that, I don't think on his consistency that I can get him, because I'm not as consistent, never mind as fast. But yeah, I'll just keep doing what I'm doing. This is the first race I've really enjoyed this week at this track, because I really don't like this track. So for that part, I'm pleased. For the rest of the season, we'll see how it goes. I like the next track, which is Interlagos. So I like that track. It's another draft track, but you know, a lot of them are in the Skippy.
Yeah, it brings me on to my next question as well, with regards to Interlagos as well. Is it a track that you love, or got much experience around in the Skippy?
I've not done it as often as I would like to do it, because we only go there now and again. But it is a track I really like. I really like it for the real life racing as well. I really like it when the F1 and stuff go there. It's a really good race, I think. Yeah, really looking forward to it. I don't think I'm be the fastest round there, but because it's a draft track, you can make that work for you.
And lastly, before we let you go, Simon, anyone that you want to give a quick thank you to?
I want to thank Alan for continuing this league, and thank the fellow competitors in that little pack for the relatively clean racing. I know we had a couple of knocks, but they weren't terrible. And thanks to my sponsor as well, Masternock.
Good stuff. Well, again, congratulations on your podium position, Simon, and we look forward to seeing you on track next week at Interlagos.
Thank you.
As that was third place finisher Simon Edwards joining us, and I believe up next, Linus, you've got the race winner of today's event, Benny Simpson, with you.
We certainly do, Benny. Congratulations on, I think, one of the biggest margins of victory we've ever seen in this series. Outstanding drive, 7.5 seconds in the end. Not much to say probably about your race, but talk us through it anyway. If you're here, Benny, can you hear us? It appears as he's having some issues, so meanwhile we will move on to George Mattock, see if Benny can get his things under control. So George, good race for you, nice little battle there just outside the top 10. Tell us about your race.
Yeah, it was pretty disappointing from my perspective. I actually got a quicker time. I was 5th in qualifying, but I had a 0x in turn 1 on the wall. I didn't feel like I actually touched it, but I was a 10th quicker than Nathan was, so I would have been 5th or 6th. So yeah, that the qualifying really put me back. But starting in, I don't know, where did I start? 16th, 15th, something like that. That was probably on the lowest I think I've started this year. So yeah, that was disappointing, and it was just, I had contact with someone, I think it was Seth, just went past him at the last corner on lap 2, and we just touched. I think it was a bit of a net code, we didn't go near each other, and we touched, and I got a slow down, and I spent the rest of the race driving with 45 degrees to the right, so I'm actually happy that I finished the race, to be honest.
Well, that was finishing 13th with that sort of issue, that's actually very, very impressive. I know what that's like on an oval, but doing it on a road course, I can't imagine how that is, so great job for you there. Yeah, next week then, Interlagos, is that a track that you like particularly, or what's your expectations?
I'm just going to echo what everyone else has said about Interlagos. It's an excellent circuit, but I'm completely new to this series, so I've never driven the Skippy in Interlagos, so it'll be close, but I fear it'll be probably the worst circuit in terms of drafting. It'll be sitting behind someone, gaining like a second, passing them, and then they just do the same to you. But it'll be exciting to watch from a fan's perspective. But yeah, hopefully I can come back. I'm not really happy finishing 13th, but hopefully we can make up for it next week.
Yeah, it's not quite going to be Nürburgring Nordschleife, but still going to be a lot of drafting going on there. So, anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Shout out to you guys for doing the broadcast. Shout out to Alan as well for doing the league. And yeah, shout out to Benny as well. What a result that is, winning by over 7 seconds. That's ridiculous.
Sure is. Thank you, and hope to see you again next week. So, let's try again. Benny, do you hear us? Does not look like Benny is...
I'm here.
Oh, you are. Hello. Congratulations on what I think is one of the biggest margins of victories in Monday Night Skippys ever. How was that race for you?
Yeah, no, it was it was fun the first 3-4 laps, and then it got, not the right word to say, but it got a bit lonely up the front really. But there, I'll take it.
I bet you do. So no issues with any lap bars or anything today, so it looked very, very lonely. But have you had this pace all the way through the week, or have you just been getting faster and faster?
Yeah, I don't know really. I think I had fairly decent pace all week. Not done that many races this week, but yeah, it seemed like I was a bit faster in the infield than the other guys, but they seemed a little bit quicker than me in the chicane. So yeah, I could see them struggling a little bit on the first couple of corners. So tried to push really hard in the first few laps in the first couple of corners, and just managed to get that gap. And then when the gap was up to about 2-3 seconds, I could see they start battling, and then I just kind of drove safe and tried not to hit any walls.
You did an outstanding job doing that. So next week at Interlagos, same thing then, or what's your hopes and expectations for that race?
I think it's going to be a lot harder to pull away at Interlagos. It's a massive draft track, so I'll be fairly confident you'll see a big pack of 5, 6, 7 cars battling it through the end. And I think even if you do break away, I think 2 cars working together will just catch you back up anyway. So it'll be an interesting race.
Yeah, probably going to see more of that teamwork we've been seeing so much of then. Anybody you want to send a shout out to?
Just going to say hi to my mum, who's probably watching for once. So yeah. But apart from that, no, all good. Thanks for you guys for obviously putting the show on.
Well, thank you, and hope to see you back here next week. So that was it for today's interviews. Now, let's see if we have the updated championship standings waiting for us somewhere. There we have them. Benny Simonsen leading the way now, 244 points. Quick math says that is 27 points more than Leyus in second, Simon Edwards in third, and then almost 50 points down to Adam Miles in fourth and Daniel Tufts in fifth. So we have a little bit of a breakaway there in the top 3 after 7 out of the 12 rounds. In a couple of weeks as well, we'll start looking at those drop weeks to see how much that will come in effect. But Simonsen obviously sitting pretty at the top there with his 2 wins. Ben Evans in 6th as well, Bernowski 7th, Dave Dowson in 8th, Pattinson in 9th, and Nathan Wade in 10th. So it's close all the way down there through the top 10 and further down the order. So everything to play for still in this championship. Next week, as we have said so many times already, we are heading to Interlagos in Brazil for round number 8, the to third place mark of the season, so we're going to try to start seeing how this championship is playing out, and then that long-awaited final at Long Beach. I cannot wait to see how that is going to work with these cars in this field and all this close battle, and it's going to be very, very interesting. But today you've been watching a race at Charlotte, very, very good, and you might have seen history being made by that car in the picture here, number 11, Benny Simonson, winning by almost 8 seconds here today. Outstanding job from him. Thank you for joining us, and we hope to see you again next week. You've been watching the UK&I Monday Night Skippys live on RaceSpotTV in support of the Calm Zone. Until next week, take care everybody, stay safe. Goodbye.